Hello everyone, this is Keith from the Solo Gamers Club and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're going to continue with episode 4 of Dawn of the Zeds. This is going to be the finale episode. We're doing okay with supplies. We've got 7, but we're completely exhausted on ammunition, and that's going to be a problem. We're holding our own on several of the tracks, in particular the suburbs track and on the highway track. But our main problem here is, I believe, in the tunnel track. And the only thing that's saving us there is the tunnel stacking limit. It kind of narrows the ability of these Zeds to come at us. And I think if we're going to have a problem, it's going to be on that track at this point. So we're going to start a new event round and see what happens. All right, our next event is experimental shortcuts. Okay, it's going to give us 1 on the 4R category, so let's see what we can do with that. Well, we have 2 fleeing refugees. One is on 2nd Street in the suburbs track and another on Route 1 of the forest track. So I think what we'll do is, more than likely this one is going to be the most susceptible, so we'll move him into the mall district. Next up is the infection phase, and our infection level's at 1, so we don't have to worry about that. We can't roll a 1 with 2 dice. Move on to the eat phase, and that's a 1, so we'll have to consume 1 supply. That puts us from 7 down to 6. And now the Zeds are going to activate. It's going to be the mountain track, highway track, and the dreaded tunnel track. All right, we'll start with the mountain track. All right, the mountain track activates, and we have a 4-strength Zed in Trail 4, and he's going to advance to Trail 3, and he's approaching the campground. All right, the highway track is up next. There are no Zeds on that track, so we're going to be drawing a new Zed and placing them on the start space. This time we've got a 5-strength Zed. Okay, that could have been worse. That'll complete the activation of that track, and we'll move to the tunnel track. All right, we'll begin with our tunnel track, and then we've got a 6-strength Zed at the security guard post, and I should have a chaos marker there. I don't know why I must have forgotten to place one, so we'll have to place a chaos marker there. The 6-strength Zed is going to move into Red Labs 1, which is currently being defended by Rusty Staub. All right. So they're going to be attacking at 6 to 5, and that's going to be Zed's advantage. All right, here is the hand-to-hand combat roll. That's going to move the infection level up to 2 now. And here's the roll. We need a very high roll here. And we rolled a 3. That's about as bad as it can get. The humans are going to have to lose 3 and withdraw. So Rusty Staub can only take 1 additional hit, so he's down for the count. There's no doubt about that. Now, he does have rugged, and it says that he gets a rugged roll each time he receives a hit. And on a roll of 5 or 6, he can ignore the hit. We'll try it, but we'd have to roll 3 5s and 6s in order to stop it, because they've got 3 hits against him. Here's the roll for rugged. He stopped 1, but 2 will get through. So Rusty is done. He's going to have to make a saving throw. And he is lucky. He gets to roll 2 dice and then choose the one he wants. Okay, here's his saving throw. We'll choose the 4, and that's enough to save him. And he is brought to the Farmingdale General Hospital, and he's placed on life support. But the 6-strength Zed now is in control of Red Labs 1. Okay, now we'll roll for the other Zeds. We've got 2 Zeds in the catacombs. And we'll roll for the 4-strength Zed and see what happens to that. Roll is a 1. It's going to move normally, so that 4-strength Zed moves into the security guard post. And now the 3 strength Zed. And that would do the same, but it can't. We have that stacking limit, so he'll have to remain where he is. That's going to complete the Zed's activation, and we'll move on to our activation. We have 3 activation points from that event card, and then there's a condition. And that condition says, during this phase, you may inflict 1 hit on a hero in the laboratory and roll a die. On a roll of 1, there's no effect. On any other result, we would turn over the next card in the research deck for free. And then it says you may do this as often as you like. So as long as that card is out during the phase, we would be able to gain that ability. But we don't have anyone that can do any research in the laboratory, unfortunately, so that card won't be too useful for us. We've got 3 actions plus our tokens. I just spotted something. I have a hold for later card that I think I'm going to play in regards to that Rusty Staub situation that we had in Red Labs 1. I'm going to reconstruct this. Rusty was defeated, but before we went through all of the saving throws and things, I would have played this Grim Determination at Last Stand. It's a hold for later card. And that says, play after a Zeds unit attacks and wins. Change the combat result to 1 hit to the attacking Zeds and the Zeds retreat. So we're going to do it that way. That'll preserve Rusty. So what we'll do there is inflict 1 hit on the Zeds unit, and it would have retreated. And that's where we stand. That Zed would not have moved, even though it was instructed to. So we'll use that card. I should have done that right away, but I didn't see it. All right, we've got 3 actions plus our tokens, and I think we're out of ammunition, so I'm going to have to try to get some. There's no doubt about that. I think what we will do is I'm going to use Rusty Staub, and he's going to make a crossbow attack. The problem with that is he's only a strength of 2 when he's wounded, and that doesn't give us a very good chance. We'd have to roll an 8 or greater in order to hit. I don't know if that's worth an action or not. I'm going to think about that. Yes, I think what I'm going to do is this. We're going to spend an action. We're going to move Rusty to the Farmingdale Hospital so he can get fixed up. 1, 2, and 3 into the hospital bed. As a separate action, we're going to use Deputy Schmidt's initiative token. We'll spend that, and he's going to move into Red Labs 4. He has a little higher strength there to combat that Zeds unit. And I think there, I'm going to see if I can get some ammunition. And I think what we'll do now is activate Wilson the Hermit. He has a scavenge ability. Maybe he can pick up some ammo. All right, Wilson the Hermit is in the town center. He has that scavenge ability, and that allows him to roll 2 dice when doing a foraging action. So let's try that. We'll see if we can get some success here. He'll roll 2 dice, and we are in the town center. Okay, here's the roll. He rolls a 4, and that's enough to get a supply, but that's it. So we'll move our supplies up to 7, and we have 2 actions remaining now. I'm sorry, that's 1 action remaining. We had to spend an action for foraging. We have 1 action remaining plus our player action token. All right, we're going to spend our last action on the sheet activating Big Wheels. He's empty right now. We're going to have him move into the start space. And the start space is, even if you're allowed to go into a start space, these are large areas, and there's no combat ever going to occur there. But what he will do is move there 1, 2, 3, and then he's going to spend the player action token, and he's going to load his truck. And that's how we're going to do this turn. I do have Bob Bowers' crew token, and we could use that to gain some ammunition, and I think I will do that. Bob Bowers' crew is in Interstate 1. They just built a barricade there. And there is a rumor token. Maybe we can try to reveal that next turn. But I'm going to spend the explosive devices token. And that'll allow us to change over 2 supplies for 1 ammo. We've got 5 supplies, 1 ammo, and the infection level is at 2. All right, that's going to bring our action round to a close. We'll do our housekeeping and can start another round. All right, here's our next event card. And we've got brains. All right, conduct this special turn only. Infection level will rise by 1, it's up to 3. All tracks will activate with each Zeds unit advancing 1 space only. However, if a Zeds unit activation results in combat that it wins, it immediately advances again as necessary. After activating all Zeds units, the special turn is over. Draw the next event. Okay, this is going to be a rough one, folks. All right, we're going to begin with the forest track, and we have an 8 strength Zed mob in the farm, and they're going to move into Route 2. And that will conclude that track. We'll move to the mountain track now. All right, on the mountain track, we've got a 4 strength Zed in Trail 3, and he's going to attempt to enter into the campground, which is defended by some civilian units. Campground will give us a 1 column shift. So right now it is equal to, and the defensive ability of the campground will move us to human advantage. And I hope we can win this, because otherwise they're going to keep rolling, as it were. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, here is the roll. Human advantage. We rolled a 7, and that is 2 hits on the Zeds, 1 on us, and the Zeds retreat. That's great. So we'll place 2 hits on the Zeds. They'll retreat back to Trail 3, and we have to have another hit that's going to flip this unit over. We're going to need some reinforcements at the campground. That'll complete that track. We'll move on to the highway track. All right, there's a 5 strength Zed on the start space, and that is going to move into Interstate 6. That will complete that track. All right, now we have the tunnel track, and we've got a damaged 6 strength Zed in the security guard post, and he's going to attempt to move into Red Labs 1, defended by Deputy Schmidt. All right, so we've got a 6-4. That is Zed's advantage. And Deputy Schmidt has the Eagle Scout ability, which allows him to move 1 column shift to the right for hand-to-hand combat. That moves us to equal to. Infection level will rise now to 4. And Deputy Schmidt has martial arts. In every hand-to-hand combat, he's allowed 1 reroll. So if we need that, we will use it. So we'll make the roll and see what happens. Right now we are at even. The roll's a 9. That's pretty good. That's going to do 2 points of damage to the Zeds, 1 to us, and the Zeds retreat. So we'll accept that result. 2 points of damage on the Zed would invert that, and he'll retreat back from whence he came. Now we have to take a hit, so Deputy Schmidt has the tough ability, and that's going to allow him a chance at escaping that wound. We need a 4, 5, or 6, and he failed, so he's going to take the wound. And whoops, now he's wounded, and he's down to 2 points of combat ability. All right, now we'll move to the suburbs track. All right, the suburbs track activates. We've got a 7 strength mob, a Zed mob in the start space. It'll move into 6th Street, and that's going to complete the brains card. And we'll continue with the next event. This time we've got villagers form fire brigades. All right, we've got 2 in the 4R department, so we've got 2 movements there. So we'll spend 1 of those to move this fleeing refugees in 2nd Street to the Farmingdale Suspension Bridge. That's one. Next one is one in the Mall District will move to the town center. That's going to raise the infection level by 1, and they are going to be placed into the refugee camp. And then a rumor token will be placed. We'll have to select a fate card. The rumor token will go on the suburbs track. So we have to place that rumor token in the space with the largest strength of the Zeds, and that's going to be in 6th Street. So we'll place the rumor token in 6th Street. It's also a hold for later card, adrenaline supply discovered. Play during an action phase for +2 event actions. That's pretty useful, so we'll keep that card. All right, next up is the infection phase. We have to roll 2 dice. Our infection level is at 5, so we've got to get a 6 or greater here, otherwise we're going to have an outbreak. We rolled an 8, so we're good for the time being. The eat phase is going to be a problem for us now. We've got 2 refugees in the refugee camp, so we're going to need to roll higher than a 2, otherwise we're going to lose another supply. So here is the roll. We rolled a 1, so we're going to have to consume 1 supply. We're down to 4 supplies. That could be a problem as well. All right, next up is the Zeds activation. We're going to get a double activation on the tunnel track and one on the mountain track. Okay. All right, double activation on the tunnel track. We'll begin with this 3-strength Zed attacking Deputy Schmidt in Red Labs 1. Right now it is Zed's advantage. Deputy Schmidt has the Eagle Scout ability, so that will bring us back 1 shift to the right to equal to. And we'll see how this goes. Okay, here is the roll. Infection level rises to 6. Here's the roll. The roll's a 4. That's not too good. Result of 4 is the humans are going to take 3 damage. 3 damage. All right, Deputy Schmidt will use his lucky ability, and that will allow him to, he's going to use his rugged ability. He can roll a die for each hit, and on a roll of 5 or 6, he can ignore it. So here's his 3 hits. He didn't stop any of them, so Deputy Schmidt will take 3 wounds, and he is going to be down for the count. Now he has that lucky ability, so we'll have him roll 2 dice, and then he can choose which to use for the saving throw. Rolls a 3 and a 4, so he'll take the 4, and that will allow him to be placed in the hospital with an EKG marker. And the Zeds now are in control of Red Labs 1, and that is not good. All right, we're going to make a roll now for the other Zeds on the track. And we'll start with the 4-strength Zed in the catacombs. Rolls a 5. It has to remain where it is. We'll do the 3-strength Zed. And that is a 5 as well, so both of those are wandering around in the catacombs. All right, now the track will activate again, and this time the 3-strength Zed is going to attack in the town center basement, and that is at equal to right now. And we're going to get a 2-column shift for that defensive area, and that puts us up to human times 2. So we'll see what happens. Okay, here is the roll. Rolled a 7. And that is 3 damage to the Zeds, 1 to us, and the Zeds have to retreat. Well, the 3 damage is going to take that Zeds unit out. They did a frontal attack and they were butchered. We have to take a wound that is going to flip us to the damage side. We're running out of fresh units here. All right, now we'll make the rolls for the other units in the catacombs, starting with the 4-strength Zed. Rolls a 4, he'll remain where he is, and the 3 strength Zed. That's a 3. He's going to move normally, and he will enter the security guard post. Well, we kind of dodged a bullet there. It could have been worse. Okay, now the mountain track is going to activate. All right, on the mountain track, we've got a 4 strength Zed that's damaged, and he's going to make another attempt at the campground. So we've got 4 to 2 right now. That is going to be Zeds times 2, and we'll gain a 1 column shift to the right, so it's Zed's advantage. And we'll see how this goes. It's probably not going to end well for us. Okay, here is the roll. Rolls a 4. Okay, a 4 is 3 losses to us, and we have to retreat. Well, 3 losses is going to take that civilian unit out. Our infection level should have risen up 1 for the battle we had in the catacombs, and another 1 for this battle. So we'll do a saving throw for the villagers. See what happens with them. Rolls a 4, and we'll put them into the Farmingdale General Hospital on life support. Okay, the campground is now overrun, and we'll place chaos marker there. Okay, we've got a total of 2 chaos markers remaining. If we have to place a 3rd, we're going to lose automatically that way. Okay, that finishes the Zed's activation. We'll go to our phase, and it's now we have 3 activation points and a special ability there. All right, that reads, at the end of this phase, you may remove any number of chaos markers from village spaces for +1 infection each. Well, that's kind of interesting. All right. All right, we're going to begin our activation round. We've got 3 activations. I'm going to play this card. We've got a couple of them. The first one I'm going to do is drastic times drastic measures. Hold for later. Play at any time. Spend 1 ammo for an immediate -5 infection. So we're going to do that. We'll spend our last ammo, and we'll move our infection level from 8 down to 3. Evidently what that represents is we're kind of taking out existing villagers to shrink the infection level. It's kind of a drastic measure. Okay, so that card is complete. We're going to play another one, and that is called Adrenaline Supply Discovered. Play during the action phase for +2 event actions. So we're going to do that, and that'll give us 2 more event actions. So we'll move our event actions up to 5, and we're going to have to make a good use of this turn, that's for sure. First thing we're going to do is a heal action at the hospital. We'll get Rusty Staub back to fighting Trim. So we'll spend a action there. That is going to completely repair Rusty, and he'll be discharged into the town center. All right. I think we'll do the same with Deputy Schmidt. He can't use his initiative token while he's in an EKG marker, so we're going to spend 1 activation, taking the EKG marker off of him. And we could discharge him, but I've got to get, I think, Big Wheels Carter moving. We need some supplies. So I think we'll wait on that. And we'll get Big Wheels moving. We'll spend another action. We're down to 2 actions on that chart. Activating Big Wheels, and he's going to attempt to move through and use his special Zed's Plow ability. So we'll activate him for movement, and he's going to use his Zed's Plow against that Zed unit. So what we're going to have to do is make a D6 roll. On a roll of 4, 5, or 6, we're going to inflict 1 wound, and then we can continue moving. Here's the roll. Rolls a 1, so we have failed, and that means that we've got to fight a round of combat. That's not good. All right, it's going to be Zed's advantage at this point. Zed's advantage. And Big Wheels doesn't have anything else that can help him. Maybe I should have repaired him first, but all right, we'll give it a shot. This is Zed's advantage. Infection level rise, it does not rise because he doesn't raise infection level. He's in his vehicle. The roll is a 9, and that is both sides will lose 2 hits, and the Zeds have to retreat. So we'll place 2 wounds on the Zeds, sending them back to the highway track, and we have to take 2 wounds now, and we're down to our last set of hit points there. All right, that is the round. We're going to use another action, and we're going to activate Big Wheels once again. He has 5 movement points, and we're going to try to get him back towards town center. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and he's in Interstate 1 right now. That's where he is. Okay, and I think we're going to have to do it. I'm going to spend my last action that I have activating Big Wheels again. He's going to roll into town center, and then we're going to gain 5 supplies and 3 ammo, and now he's empty. That's what we've got. So 5 supplies moves us up to 9, and 3 ammo puts us at 3. All right, we have a player action token, Deputy Schmidt's initiative token, and Bob Bowers' Crew's explosive devices token. That's all we have left. Well, we've got a little bit of a problem on the mountain track now. There's no one on that mountain track, and there's some Zeds at the campground. So our choices are to send one of our player characters up to deal with that, or we could use our last player action and find out what that rumor token is. Maybe that would be a great bonus for us. I don't know. I guess the smart play would be to send someone up the mountain track to deal with that 4-strength Zed that is damaged at the campground. We've also got an 8-strength Zed mob that could be coming down on the forest track, and all we've got is a civilian unit there, so we've got a lot of problems. The other option is to spend the action to heal Deputy Schmidt completely, and then he would have his initiative token. Yeah, we could do that. I'd have to use the player action to do that. He can use his initiative token because he's not under an EKG, so we could also do that. Maybe that's the best play. I'll use Deputy Schmidt's initiative token. We'll spend that, and that will give him an activation, and then he's going to heal. It'll heal him and discharge him back to town center. So we've got a repaired unit there at least. Now we have just the player action token remaining. And I've decided to use that player action token to move Deputy Schmidt to town center basement. We get a 2-column shift defense there, and I think that might be better than having him move to Red Labs 1. So we'll just leave him back there. We've still got those other problems with the forest track and the mountain track, but we'll see what happens with the next turn. So we'll move on to the housekeeping phase. We'll collect all of our tokens back and get a new event. Okay, our next event is National Guard arrives. All right, we've reached that point. It says immediately make a fate draw and place the National Guard unit on the fated track's start space. If the fate track indicates the tunnel, it becomes player's choice. All right, let's grab a fate card. And this time it is the mountain track. Okay, so the National Guard arrives on the mountain track. So we'll place the National Guard marker on the start space of the mountain track. That is strength of 10. And it has some special conditions that it has to do. It's going to cost 2 ammo to make a gunfire attack with it. In all other ways, the special unit is a player unit, stacking normally with other units. Okay, they can move one space for free every 4R space and one space per move action during the action phase. So that's what we've got. They have a movement of 1. Okay. Now the fate card is the Living Dead. It says play this card. St. Thomas's historic graveyard bursts with undead. Place 2 new regular Zed units as a Zed's mob on the St. Thomas village space. Apply stacking limit if necessary. All right, St. Thomas. Well, it has the space to absorb a Zed's mob, so we'll do that. All right, we're going to draw 2 Zeds and place them in St. Thomas. First one is an 8 strength Zed. Second one is a 6 strength Zed. So there's a 14 strength Zed mob in St. Thomas. Okay, that completes the fate card. And then we'll take another look at that National Guard arrives card. And that simply says the National Guard unit may move 1 space per 4R phase and 1 space per move action. It costs the unit 2 ammo to make a gunfire attack. And it cannot use the super weapon until it gets to a town or town center space. And then it says, after placing the National Guard unit, this turn is over. Draw the next event. Okay, so that's it for the turn. All right. We'll draw our next event. And we've got from the laboratory of Dr. Martus. Okay, we've got a 4R of 1. All right. All right, we have to use that 4R activation in that order of raiders, rangers, refugees, and then rescuers. So we have 1 refugee at the suspension bridge. He'll move into suburbia. All right. All right, next up is the infection phase. Infection level is at 3. Here's the roll. Roll of 5, so we've passed it. Next is the eat phase. We have a total of 3 units between the refugee camp and the general hospital, so we'll have to roll higher than a 3, otherwise we're going to lose another supply. And we rolled a 1, so we're down from 9 to 8 supplies. Now the Zeds are going to activate, and it says at the beginning of this phase, if there are no Super Zeds units in play, place a new Super Zed unit in Dr. Martus's office. And at present, we do not have any Super Zeds on the board. So a new Super Zed is going to be placed in Dr. Martus's office. All right. So we'll draw a Super Zed at Dr. Martus's office. And this time we've got an L. It's a leaper, I believe. Read up about that. Yes, the L designation is a leaper. When leapers move into a space, they immediately destroy any barricade there, with the exception of the strong point, which cannot be destroyed even by leapers. Worse, the defending unit engaging them, or the Zed's mob they are a part of, in hand-to-hand combat receives no terrain shift regardless of the location. This is a death from above the leap, right on top of the defenders, leaving them no way to prepare for the attack. Okay, so they have appeared in Dr. Martus's office. Now the Zed tracks will activate. We've got the suburbs track, forest track, and the tunnel track. We'll start with the suburbs. Okay, the 7 strength Zed mob in 6th Street moves into East Irick, where chaos is going to result. We're down to 1 chaos marker left. That'll complete that track. Next activation is the forest track. All right, the forest track activates. We've got an 8 strength Zed mob in Route 2. It moves into Route 1 to attack the civilian unit. Infection level rises to 4. It's 8 to 3. So that is times 2 Zeds. This is going to be a tough one. Okay, and here is the roll. Rolls a 4. A 4 is going to deal us 4 wounds, and then we have to retreat. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4 is going to take us out. We're going to make our saving roll. And we failed, so it's going to go to the cemetery. And now the 8 strength Zed mob is in control of Route 1. The other 14 strength Zed mob in St. Thomas now moves into the farm area. All right, we've got trouble. And finally, the tunnel track will activate. And here we've got a damaged 3 strength Zed entering Red Labs 1. We'll make a roll for the Zed that is in the catacomb. Rolls a 4, and that is going to remain where it is. And then the Super Zed in Dr. Martus's office will move also into the catacombs. There's no stacking limit there. Okay, that completes the Zed activations. We're going to have 2 activations for ourselves. All right, we've got some problems here. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to spend 1 activation to move Rusty Staub into the mall district. And that will help to shore that up a little bit. And I think the next thing we'll do is we'll spend a action activating Rusty, and he's going to use his crossbow and make a ranged attack against that large formation coming at him. He has that crossbow attack which allows him to use a gunfire attack with no ammunition expended. So we'll see what happens here. He has a gunfire of 4. Let's hope we can get a good roll here. Rolled a 9, and that is 2 hits. So we'll place 2 hits on the 5 strength Zed. That'll help a little bit. All right, we have no actions remaining other than our player token and Deputy Schmidt's initiative token. All right, Deputy Schmidt is going to use his initiative token, and he's going to make a gunfire attack on that damaged 3 strength Zed in Red Labs 1. It'll cost us 1 ammunition. We're down to 2. And he is going to have a 4 strength attack here. Okay, here is the roll. He rolls a 6, and that is 1 point of damage. All right, so 1 point of damage it is. All we have left now is our player action token. And I don't think I have much choice. I'm going to spend that player action token to activate Rusty in the mall district. He's going to spend 1 ammo, and he'll make another gunfire attack on that large mob coming at him from Route 1. And we'll see what happens. Okay, it's going to put him on a gunfire attack of 4. And I got to get that in frame here somehow. There we go. Okay, here is the roll. He rolls a 7, and that is 2 hits. He's got a 7. Is that not in frame there? Okay, 7 is 2 hits. And we'll place both of those on the 5 strength Zed, I believe. 1 more hit will flip it. Now it's down to a 1. And I guess we'll place that on the 3 strength Zed then. All right. So that helped. That's going to be a lot easier to handle. And I think that's going to complete the round. All right, that is going to complete the round. We've taken care of our housekeeping area. And I think what we'll do next is draw our next event card. Let's see how many are left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's quite a bit. I don't know if we're going to be able to last that long. Here's the event. And that is a fed Zed ain't a dead Zed. Okay. Okay, we'll begin with the 4R phase. We have a 1 there, and that's going to allow us to get that fleeing refugee from the suburbs track into the town center. So the fleeing refugee enters the town center. That's going to raise the infection rate by 5. and that unit is transferred to the refugee camp. We're going to have to be using this equip refugees token to try to clear that out a little bit, because we're going to be using too much in the supplies department if we don't. That's a free action, by the way, that you can use once per turn. We can convert one of those refugees in the camp, and we can bring back one of our civilian units in a damaged state at the town center once per turn. Okay. All right, next up is the infection roll. We have an infection level of 5. Let's see if we can pass this. We've rolled a 5, so we're going to reduce our infection level to 0, and we're going to have an outbreak, and we have to draw a fate card for that. And this time it is the track with the most chaos. Okay, we'll have to calculate that. All right, the track with the most chaos is tied between the tunnel track and the mountain track. Each have 3. So I'm going to choose the tunnel track, and we're going to select a random Zed and place that on the most advanced space that is chaos. That'll be in the security guard post. The reason I'm doing this is because of that tunnel stacking limit that at least limits what's coming at us at a single time. You can't form the Zed's mobs there. So we've got a 5 strength Zed appearing in the security guard post. Okay. And that fate card is a hold for later. It says a man with no name. East Clintwood emerges from the shadows to assist you before disappearing once again. Play this card at the beginning of any hand-to-hand combat for a one-time 3-column shift to the right. That is a great card, and we're going to hang on to that. All right, next up is the eat phase, and we've got a total of 4 units between the hospital and the refugee camp. So we've got to roll a 5 or 6, otherwise we lose a supply. Rolls a 3, so we've lost a supply. We're down to 7. All right, next up is the Zed's activation, and it says at the beginning of the phase, restore 1 hit if possible to each regular Zed unit on or adjacent to a village or town space that has no player units on it. All right, so I'm going to check that and see what the status is. Well, the only Zeds unit that qualifies would be this 3-strength Zed in Route 1. It is adjacent to a town space. So it'll heal 1 point of damage. I'm pretty sure that qualifies as a town space because it says town or village. I should probably double check that though. Yes, that is correct. These are considered town spaces, any of these 0 track spaces. And a village space has the village symbol on it. As an example, Beauville or St. Thomas. All right, now the Zeds are going to activate twice on the tunnel track and once on the highway track. That tunnel track has just been really active. So the tunnel track will activate, and we've got a damaged 3-strength Zed moving into the town center basement. And I guess we'll have Deputy Schmidt defend there, so it'll be human advantage, and we're going to gain a 2-column shift for the defenses. That puts us at human times 3. That's pretty good. All right, here is the human times 3 hand-to-hand combat. And we're going to move our infection level up to 1 now for that hand-to-hand. Here's the roll. Result is a 9, and that is 3 damage to the Zeds, and they have to retreat. It's going to kill that unit. That one is destroyed. All right, now we'll move the other Zeds. We've got a 5-strength Zed here. It'll move into Red Labs 1. And now we've got the catacombs area. We'll start with the Leaper and see what he's going to do. Roll is a 6. That means he's lost. Okay, we're going to make another roll. If it comes up to be a 3, then he's lost permanently. Otherwise, it will go in the space indicated. It's a 1. So that's bad for us. That's as bad as it could get. He's supposed to move there. He can't, so he will remain where he is because of the stacking limit. Okay, we'll roll for the 4 now. That's a 6. He's lost as well, and we'll make the roll. Rolls a 2, and he's going to move to the security guard's post. All right, that's the first activation now. Now we'll do the second activation in the tunnel track. And now we've got a 5-strength Zed attacking Deputy Schmidt. It'll be at Zed's advantage, and then we get 2-column shift. That'll be human advantage. And the Deputy Schmidt also has Eagle Scout. Gets him 1 more shift. We're at human times 2. Infection level goes up to 2, and we'll make the roll. Rolls a 9, and that is 3 damage to the Zeds, nothing to us, and the Zeds retreat. So 3 hits, we'll flip it, and they have to retreat. All right. Now we have to make the roll moves for the other units. This one can't move. The Leaper, he can move possibly, and here's the Catacomb roll. Rolls a 1, and that is move normally. Well, he can't, so it just remains where it is. All right, that's 2 activations on the tunnel track. Now the highway track activates. Okay, highway track activates, and that damaged Zed will move to Interstate 6. And that is the end of the Zeds phase. It's our turn now. We have 2 activation points, and let's see what we can do here. Now, some of the problems we've got, in addition to the normal problems on these tracks, we're down to 1 chaos marker, so it could be a problem, and especially on the suburbs track, because we have a Zeds mob here, and if that moves into the Farmingdale University or Beauville, we're going to lose. So we need to send somebody, I think, down to the suburbs. I'm kind of low on personnel here. Not to mention I don't have anybody on the mountain track. Whew. All right. Well, I think the first thing we're going to do with our activation is we're going to use this Equip Refugees token. We'll spend that, and we're going to exchange one of those for a damaged civilians unit, which we can place back in town center. It comes in on the damaged side, so that'll at least limit the number of supplies we'll be consuming up in the refugee camp and the general hospital. I think the next action is going to be Rusty Staub in the mall district, and we're going to have him spend 1 action, and then he can use his crossbow, and that won't cost us any ammunition. We're down to 1 ammo. He's going to make a 4-strength gunfire attack on that Zeds mob that's coming at him from Route 1. Whoops, I got to roll 1 dice, not 2. We rolled a 1. Oh, what am I doing? It is 2 dice. That was a result of 4. There was no effect. It was 0. Okay, so that's that. I think Deputy Schmidt is going to use his initiative token. We'll spend that and activate him, and he's going to make a gunfire attack. We'll use up our last ammo, and he'll make a 4-strength gunfire attack on this damaged Zed in Red Labs 1. Rolls a 5, and that is 1 hit. So we'll place 1 hit on that Zed. And we have 1 action left plus our player action token. We do have Bob Bowers' explosive devices token as well. I think we might even use that right now. And I'm going to use Bob Bowers' explosive devices token. And we'll convert 2 supplies into 1 ammo. And that is 5 supplies now with 1 ammo infection level at 2. I think I'm going to spend 1 action, and we're going to inspect this rumor token. Maybe something good can come from that. Let's take a look at that. Okay, let's take a look at this rumor token. And that is Federal Gun Registry. It's P. And that says, place in the town center. At every town or village space, forage results of 1 or 2 provide 1 ammo. That is pretty good. So we're going to place that in the town center. All right. That would give us a good chance at getting some ammunition. And I think I'm going to use our player action token, and we're going to activate Wilson the Hermit, and we're going to use his scavenge ability and see what we can get. So we're going to roll 2 dice for him, and we'll see what he gets. Now we have that federal gun registry. On a 1 or 2, during a forage, we get 1 ammo. Here is the roll. Well, we've got a 1 and a 5. So we have to select one of the 2, I believe. We can't use both unless it's a double. So I'm going to double check all that. Yeah, it looks like it says forage results of 1 and 2 provide 1 ammo. So I don't know if that means normally you only roll 1 die for a forage attempt, but if you have a special ability, I guess you have to select one. It says use, if you look at his ability, it says roll 2 dice when conducting a forage action, and then you have to pick which one. So I guess we'll take the 1, and that will give us 1 ammunition. We'll do it that way. Okay. And that is going to complete all of our actions that we're going to use. We'll do our cleanup and get another event. Okay, here is our next event. And it's a brains. Oh boy. Okay, we have to raise the infection by 2. We're up to 4. And then all tracks will activate, and the Zeds will be able to continue if they are involved in a combat and they're successful. So this could be a tough one. All right, we're going to start out with the forest track. And this 4-strength Zed mob is going to assault the mall district defended by Rusty Staub. It's 4 to 4, so we're even, and then we're going to gain 2 column shift for the defenses. So we're at human times 2. That shouldn't be too bad unless we really roll bad. Okay, here is the roll. And that's just what happened. We rolled a 3. And that is 2 damage to each, and the Zeds have to withdraw. Oh boy, what a time for a terrible roll here. Is there anything that he can do? You know, he doesn't have any rerolls. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. We will inflict 2 damage on the Zeds. 1 will be, I guess we'll put both on that 3-strength Zed, and then they're going to withdraw. Now Rusty has to take 2 hits, and he has that survivalist, rugged ability, so we can roll a die for each hit and cancel it on a 5 or 6. Well, he didn't cancel any of them, so 2 hits. 1 and 2 would take him out, so we're going to have to make a saving roll for him. He's lucky, so he gets 2 dice, and we can choose which one. Here is the roll. He's got a 5. We'll use the 5. That's going to put him in the hospital on life support. Okay. Now the 14-strength Zed unit up in the farm will advance into Route 2. That'll stop that track. Now the mountain track will activate, and the damaged Zed in the campground will move into Trail 1. That's it for that track. On the highway track, the damaged 5-strength Zed will move into Ingeborg. All right. Now on the tunnel track, the damaged 4-strength Zed in Red Labs 1 will assault Deputy Schmidt. It's going to be at even 2, equal to, and then a 2-column shift for the defenses, and 1 more for his Eagle Scout. We're at human times 3. Okay, here is the roll. We rolled a 10, and that is 4 damage. 4 damage is going to take that unit out. They are no more. That is good for us. We don't want them advancing with a brains card up, because they would just keep going. All right. Now the other Zeds will move. And then we'll see what happens for the leaper. He has to make a roll on the catacombs. It's a 2. He'll move normally, so he will move into the security guard post. All right, and we have one track left, and that's the suburbs track. All right, suburbs track activates. 7 strength Zed mob in East Irick is attempting to close on the Farmingdale University, defended by a damaged civilian unit. It's definitely going to be Zeds times 3, and I'm wondering if this would be a good opportunity for the man with no name to show up. That would give us a 3-column shift. Otherwise, there's very little hope of anything, so I guess I'll use it. That'll give us a 3-column shift, moving us to equal to. And we'll just have to hope for a good roll here. All right, so we're at the equal to column using the man with no name. And we rolled a 3. Darn it. Okay, a 3 is 3 damage to the humans, and we have to withdraw. It was a waste of that man with no name card. It's too bad. Took a chance and I lost. All right, so they're going to lose. That unit is destroyed. And we have to roll for its saving throw. Rolls a 5, and I guess we can put that in the hospital with an EKG marker. We'll do that. Then they've taken over the Farmingdale University. We have no chaos markers left, and it's going to continue to advance because it won that battle. It's going to move on Beauville now. And the only, oh boy, this is terrible. It's 7-1, and that's going to be Zeds times 3. We get a 1-column shift for the defenses. It's Zeds times 2. And if we lose this, I don't have a chaos marker to put down, and we're going to lose by lack of chaos. Oh no, I wish I had that card now. The man with no name. Okay, so we're at Zeds times 2. This is pretty much the whole game here. Rolls an 8. Okay, 8, it's Zeds times 2. We're going to lose 2. They lose 1. And we have to withdraw. All right, so he's going to take 1 hit. We'll place that on the 5-strength Zed. We have to lose 2. That's going to take that unit out. We can make a saving throw. We failed, so that's going to go in the cemetery. The defiant civilians have now become fleeing refugees who move to 2nd Street, and they take control of Beauville, and I don't have any chaos markers to place, so we've lost the game. Well, it's too bad. We had how many event cards left? A total of 6, so we still would have had 6 turns to have to endure in order to have won the game. But this was a very fun playthrough for me to bring to you, and I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. This game really is one of the best storytelling board games that I have. You could actually write a novel by just recounting what had happened in this board game. It's an expertly designed game, and I just, as veteran viewers of the channel know, that I just love games that tell stories like this, and this is, I think, one of the best. So I hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and the next video is going to be a special one, and that is going to be a coming attractions video. And I've finally broken my streak of not being able to find any new games that I was interested in, and I bought 5 of them. And I'll be previewing those new games that I've got in the next video, and we'll take a look at those. I'm very excited about 2 of them, which I did not even know existed until the day I ordered them, and I'm very happy that I found them, and I think they're going to prove to be very exciting for the channel. So in the meantime, until that what's happening video will appear, this is Keith from the Solo Gamers Club signing off and wishing everyone a pleasant evening. Good night.